Now, things have started off very well, and we are working on deepening. You can play a big role in awakening the consciousness of young people so that people understand how the world works and don't let themselves be led astray by those people.
Yes, exciting news from Africa. I was just combing through my social media page. I found, I saw very exciting videos coming from Ivory Coast. The young people are on the streets. They're jubilating. They're saying no to French influence in Africa. They don't want France anymore. No to Alassane Ouattara, who was put there by the French, right? So there is some kind of a revolution going on in Africa. This is what the young people in Africa should do, especially in French former colonies. The French don't want to leave Africa, right? They are stirring up a lot of kind of conflicts in Africa. So now the young people are saying no, and this inspiration is coming from Ibrahim Traore. Now the next step is Cameroon. Cameroon. What are the young people in Cameroon doing? Are you sleeping? Open your eyes. See what the young people in Ivory Coast are doing now. Okay? See what the young people in Burkina Faso are doing. They are not committing any crime. They just want the old people to go. What is Paul Biya doing there? He wants to stand again. He's 92 years old, right? So kudos to young people in Ivory Coast. Kudos to those who think Africa should control their own resources. Kudos to the young. We should appreciate what they are doing right now. This is the power of internet. The power of social media is actually sweeping through Africa, okay? So see.
What's happening in West Africa is not just a trend. It is a movement. A movement they don't ask for permission. From Mali to Burkina Faso to Niger, and now whispers of revolution in Côte d'Ivoire. That's what we are hearing. So today we are asking a bold question. Is Captain Ibrahim Traoré behind the recent coup attempt in Côte d'Ivoire? Because Burkina Faso or Ibrahim Traoré spirit is moving very fast. The tension across Africa is catching up and the puppet leaders are in fear. And what's happening in Ivory Coast or Côte d'Ivoire right now, it is the wave of Ibrahim Traoré. Let's not lie to each other, because not because he gave orders, but because his courage, his defiance, his Pan-Africanism fire, it's catching up. The Pan-African fire in Ibrahim Traoré has awakened Ivorian people, and the fire can't be put out anymore. Not by Ouattara, not by France, not by the so-called West African democracies. And that is so. In today's video, we are going to look at that. Ibrahim Traoré is behind what's happening in Ivory Coast. And I'm so happy. I'm a happy man because I have been preaching about Pan-Africanism. I've been preaching about unity. If the coup attempt did not go well or it did not succeed, that is a message to show that it is coming and it is coming home. Before we go down into that video, let's watch these clips and then we continue.
It's just coming in from Ivory Coast. It's allegedly that the attempt coup was successful. I just got this information from one of the followers from Ivory Coast. Although the internet was shut down, every social media platform was shut down because they really didn't want any information to get out. But it has turned out that the coup was successful. I don't know how sure the information is, but that is what I'm getting. I think the Ivorians were very tired of their puppet president, and they said they have to take him off from power no matter what. because he was trying to sabotage Ibrahim Traore. And you all know what Ibrahim Traore has been doing, what he has been fighting for. And their president was working with the West, the France, and the USA at all means to take him down. Imagine, he was the one giving terrorists, supplying weapons to these people to ensure that Ibrahim Traore has stepped down. Yeah, that is it. That is the information that I'm getting out here.
Okay, this is what we know so far, so pay attention. Yesterday around 9:30 p.m. And then we had a call from one of our comrades. Okay, one of our comrades in Cote d'Ivoire. We had a call from him. And when he called, he was like, he is in the capital city right now, Cote d'Ivoire, the capital city, and they have heard some gunshots. Okay, around the presidency, around that side, they have heard some gunshots. So, and after the gunshots, after some minutes later, their internet went off. Internet in Cote d'Ivoire, especially the capital city, went off. And so he called us to tell us that this is what has happened in Cote d'Ivoire. He was informing us that they had some gunshots in the capital city and also at the presidency side. And then after some minutes later, their internet also went off. We tried calling him, we are not getting him because their internet went off. And so now the question is, so many people are calling for coup d'etat to happen in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. So many African countries, especially the youth, are calling that, and people are even happy. People are jubilating. People are happy that there should be a coup in Cote d'Ivoire. That's what people are wishing for. So the question is, why are African youth so much interested in coup d'etat that they are calling that coup should happen in some countries? Have we asked ourselves this question? People are asking that there should be coup d'etat, especially in Cote d'Ivoire. People are so happy and making sure this thing happen. So the question is, why are people so happy that coup d'etat should happen in Cote d'Ivoire? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. That's a brilliant question every African should be asking themselves. Why are people wishing for coup d'etat to happen in Cote d'Ivoire? It's a question every African should be asking. Everybody should be asking this question. Why are people not asking that coup d'etat should happen in Burkina Faso to get rid of Captain Ibrahim Traoré? But people are asking that coup d'etat should happen in Cote d'Ivoire to get rid of Alassane Ouattara. Why are people asking for that? There's a problem. That means there's something wrong. Because since yesterday that we heard the news, you know what has happened? So many, if you go on social media, majority of the youth are all happy. When you post about the coup that has happened in Cote d'Ivoire, everybody is happy. Go and check the comment section. People are commenting. Like about 90% are happy that it has happened. Even though it is a rumor that people are saying, about 90% are saying it should happen. So why, the question is, why are people so happy that coup d'etat should happen in Cote d'Ivoire? That means there is something wrong. There's a question mark there. There's a question mark. The leader over there is a big question mark on him.
They can't go a single day without talking about Burkina or the AES. It's impossible for them. And every time they try to spread information, to divide, to manipulate the youth. But it doesn't work anymore. I think people are aware enough. Now people have their eyes open. Through communication, they managed to rewrite history. And as for African history, they schemed everything to spread lies. As a result, some young Africans don't even know the history of Africa or what Africa has accomplished. Some don't even know that our grandparents fought, were put on the front lines as cannon fodder. And when they returned, they were killed like animals. Do people know that when France tested its first atomic bomb, it was black soldiers they placed nearby in the blast radius to see what would happen? Let's bring out the archives. Everything they've used against Africa is terrible. So all of this needs to be communicated so that young Africans understand, because there are still many who are asleep and continue to speak on behalf of the imperialists. Whatever they're told to say, they do it. Maybe it's because, well, they're given something, I don't know. But Africans need to understand their history and wake up. So that's our fight as well. My biggest regret is having spent a good part of my youth listening to radio stations like RFI and France 24. I've been in countries where those radio stations were shut down. But we would use apps to record their news broadcasts so we could listen. But at some point, something clicked. I started to realize that they were conditioning our minds to accept what they wanted. It's their narrative that they want us to learn. And since then, I've started to see things for what they are. And I understood that what they're doing is very dangerous. And today, more than ever, I realize that they have conditioned the minds, especially of Africans. So, you can play a big role in awakening the consciousness of young people so that people understand how the world works. And don't let themselves be led astray by those people. When we watch the parade of the machines that won the war, that is the T-34s up to the modern vehicles, it shows us the technological evolution of the Russian army. And it inspires us as well to get to work so that we can develop in the same direction. Relations are going very well. And I can say that for the past 2 years now, things have started off very well. And we are working on deepening the areas of defense and security, but also education and later on the commercial sector and other aspects. So we have staggered the different areas so that we can exchange a lot and share many experiences, because we also have a lot to learn from Russia in the field of education, especially in the sciences. Now, it must be said that up to today, gold is the main export product in Burkina Faso. But we have set agriculture in motion, first for self-sufficiency, but also for foreign trade and export. The terrorists are reinforced by many foreign fighters who come from elsewhere, who are not, in fact. If I take the case of Burkina Faso, there are many criminals in Burkina Faso, but they are not Burkinabe. There are also trainers who come from many countries to teach them a lot of techniques.
But what is their interest?
It's not really terrorism, it's imperialism. Their goal is to keep us in a state of permanent war, so that we cannot develop and so they can continue to plunder our resources. So they have every interest in bringing in specialists in mines to lay various types of mines and explosives experts. Today, the terrorists use drones to fight and everything. So these are professionals from certain countries who come to teach them all of this. All of this is to keep us in a state of insecurity. But we are aware of the situation. We adapt each time to their methods of operation, and we will continue the fight until we have recovered the entirety of the Sahel. So all the countries that are fighting today for their more economic independence, we are trying to collaborate better with these countries, because it is a form of oppression by imperialism. It is necessary for those who are oppressed to unite in order to confront this hegemony. So we are moving forward gradually. There are many structures to put in place, and there are many areas that need to be upgraded in the three countries. Because as you know, from an economic standpoint, we are not at the same level, and from a military perspective, there are many aspects to consider. We need to try to balance things out. And so this requires the establishment of many structures and numerous meetings. And free movement requires a certain number of parameters to be put together. You must have seen that we did a lot of work to come up with a single security document for travel and everything. So it's evolving and things are going very well. I think they themselves contributed to diminishing their own influence, because they have a paternalistic view of our relationship. You see, whenever you look at everything we do, every initiative we take, it's always about Russia. Someone speaks and they say they're influenced by Russia. Everything that happens, it's Russia. Why do they have their eyes closed like that? So Africans aren't capable of developing anything. Africans aren't capable of inventing, innovating, or taking initiatives. That's what we're fighting against. And look at their speeches. Look at their speeches. Even the French president, always in his speeches, says that young Africans are influenced by Russia. It's said, and if you listen to Western media, they spend all their time lying. And look today, the AES, which is a model that's starting to take shape, they can't go a single day without talking about Burkina or the AES. It's impossible for them.
Now, let's take facts. It has been reported that coup attempt has been in Ivory Coast, and military officers arrested or maybe killed, and everything is scattering in Ivory Coast. Now, you don't get this kind of coordination without a deeper current pulling underneath. And the current, it is flowing straight outer Ouagadougou, straight outer Burkina Faso. The current flow of this is flowing from Mali, it's flowing from Niger, now in Ivory Coast. So, who is Ibrahim Traoré? He is a captain, revolutionary leader, youngest head of state in Africa. But more than that, he is a face to a new Africa. Since 2022, Traoré has expelled French troops, shut down French media, kicked out NGOs, strengthened ties with Mali and Niger, built a pan-African military alliance, all while speaking directly to his people, no scripts, no puppetry. This isn't just military power. This is political clarity. And this is what we want in Africa. So the people of Ivory Coast are paying attention, or they are paying attention on what is happening in Burkina Faso. The reason why I have said that Ibrahim Traoré is behind the coup attempt in Ivory Coast is because the youths of Ivory Coast, the people of Ivory Coast, are tired too with the France. They are seeing and paying attention whatever is happening in Burkina Faso. They are watching Traoré kick France out of Burkina Faso, while French troops still walk freely in Abidjan. They are watching Burkina Faso take back their resources, while Ouattara signs another agreement with Paris. They are watching young Burkinabe rally behind their captain, while Ivorian youth are stuck in unemployment, police brutality, and political silence. Now, so when some brave Ivorians try to rise up, it is not random. It is inspired. It is inspired by the spirit and the force of Ibrahim Traoré. That's not random. Ivory Coast is the last golden child of France's power in West Africa. Ivory Coast is where they were cooking, or they are cooking, to overthrow Ibrahim Traoré. And Traoré warned them. In Ivory Coast is where the France military bases are planning to take down this man, Ibrahim Traoré. So, think about it. French military bases, CFA Franc, a president who got power through French military intervention in 2011 and even played with the policies and everything and adding the third term. Think about that. So, if France loses in Ivory Coast, it loses everything in the region. Yes, you heard me right. If France loses in Ivory Coast, it loses everything in the region. And that is why Burkinabe or Burkina Faso style revolution is accepted or acceptable to Ivorians, but unacceptable to France. Now, it is coming. It is coming. Even if it didn't go through, it is coming. Because revolution isn't exported, it is sparked. And Traoré is that, lead them that much. And the youths of Africa are buying the agenda. Which are the agenda? Liberation agenda, sovereignty agenda, to end neocolonialism, to end Western influence. That's the agenda the youths are buying. So let's look at the bigger picture here. The bigger picture is that you have two Africas right now. One, the Alliance of Sahel, a state which combine of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, independent, military-led and colonial. Then we have ECOWAS, puppet states like Ivory Coast, Senegal, still kneeling before France. These are the two Africa we have in West Africa. And the coup attempt in Côte d'Ivoire wasn't just about politics. It was a philosophical collision, freedom versus fear. Sovereignty versus submission. That's what's going on. Now hear this clearly. We are not when we say Traoré is behind the coup attempt, we are not talking about the secret orders. We are talking about inspiration. Traoré represents the possibility that Africans can say no to exploitation and finally mean it. He shows young Africans that leadership doesn't require foreign powers or foreign approval. This African pride can be government policy, and that is more dangerous to France than any weapon. Unity of the youths, young Africans coming together is the greatest weapon. And it is a threat to the French. It is a threat to the white system. It is a threat to the colonizers. So, the president of Côte d'Ivoire and his allies are panicking, not because of a few soldiers, but because of what this coup attempt represents. They are scared that their own soldiers are thinking like Burkinabes. Now, the soldiers who they were so loyal to France, some of them are dividing. Within the soldiers, the loyalty has gone down. They are thinking like Burkinabes. They are thinking like Ibrahim Traoré. It is a sign, and this sign is clearly that Ouattara, the president of Côte d'Ivoire, your time has come to an end. They are scared that the youth will rather follow Traoré than serve a regime backed by France. So, what will they do? They will crack down or arrest descendants, call ECOWAS for help. That's what they will do. But it is too late. The people are already awake. Ivorians are already awake. We are watching the collapse of France's empire in Africa in real time. What days to live in Africa? Oh my goodness. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, they led the charge. And now Ivory Coast is tearing. It is calling. It is hot. There is smoke. And you know, after smoke, there is fire. Yes, after smoke, there is fire. So again, is Ibrahim Traoré directly behind the coup of Ivory Coast? I will boldly say no. But he gave the people of Côte d'Ivoire permission to believe. Believe that there is sovereignty. To believe in dignity. To believe in freedom isn't just for Europeans. The only question left is, who is next? Museveni, William Ruto, Tshisekedi, who is next? That is the only question remaining. I believe that the youths of Ivory Coast and the people of Côte d'Ivoire are in fully support of this. I believe that the soldiers of Ivory Coast, they are Ivorians, and they don't want to be puppets anymore. They want change. And the change is here today. To believe. If you believe Africa has the right to own its own future, like, share, and subscribe, and tell me on the comment section, will the Traoré effect spread beyond West Africa? Or this isn't just about coups, it's about consciousness. Stay sharp, stay awake, stay sovereign, and I see you in the next one.